Just because you disagree with somebody does not mean you need to call their job and get them fired. Just because you disagree with somebody or you don't like their take or you don't like their disposition on something doesn't mean you want them to roll over and die, or you want their plane to crash, or you don't want their kids to get set on fire. It doesn't mean you should want or desire any of these terrible outcomes for these individuals just because you disagree. Welcome back to Random University, where yes, it's time to go back and address the poor individual who now apparently has gotten terminated from his job. We were criticizing this man in the last video about his disposition and the way he was coming back at these women, because I thought it was very unmasculine and very unmanly at the way he was, displaying his behavior out there on the balloon popping dating show, which, yes, I mean, it's all for content, it's all for laughs, but it's all for laughs until somebody loses their job for something that they shouldn't have lost their job for. It's not like the man was out there literally slapping women around on the show. I mean, he didn't put his hands on anybody. As far as we know, maybe they cut it out, that he didn't cuss anybody out live on the show. Nothing that he did warrants him losing his job. I thought it was a joke. I saw it as a comment in the last video that I posted that somebody was like, this man's got a GoFundMe. I thought they were literally trolling me. I thought like there's no way. He's got a GoFundMe, which we'll get to that eventually. But still, I'm like, really? This man lost his job over that? There's worse things. Apparently people were blowing this man's job up. They were hitting this hotline up like it was some type of pornographic hotline. And I don't understand why they were lighting it up so bad. Like, dude, let it go. I'm sorry. I mean, there's nothing he did to hurt you. If you're upset and offended for the women, which, yes, it's not the women's fault that were on the show. It's not their fault either. It's the people who were in the comments. It's those individuals who are so upset at themselves that they would rather go ahead and commit self-deletion. And so instead of doing that, they're going to ruin somebody else's life just in the process or just for the heck of it. And I, quite frankly, nothing makes me even more angry than that. I mean, that pisses me off. You are such a low life that you would rather go out there and ruin somebody else's day. This man was actually enjoying what he was doing. He loved his job, and for whatever reason, people had to make sure that ended just because they were upset at his disposition on this show. And I mean, damn, y'all. Like, I criticized this guy plenty on the last show. Said he gave off mad creeper vibes. Thought he was a little bit Looney Tunes, with this little, like the way he held that microphone. I mean, I thought that was a little crazy. But I would never call and say, you know what? Let's get him fired. Why? That does me no good. Just because somebody disagrees with some of my takes on this channel doesn't mean I want to call their job and get them terminated. And I would hope they would never do the same thing to me, because, man, it ain't that serious. It just ain't. Nobody's putting real hands on folks out here. There's nothing that serious that's taking place on this platform. Damn it, it's YouTube. I mean, it's YouTube, guys. This is just meant for people to enjoy the content. Yes, there's some things that's funny. Yes, there's some things that's cringe, but it's all meant for people to either enjoy it, make fun of, criticize, or whatever at the end of the day. Not for people to go out there and lose their livelihood over the situation. Now, I want to get into that whole livelihood situation, because this man was talking about how he had 100 bands he can just whip out and slap folks all across the face with, make it rain like it was a strip club, and just dance on it like it was Breaking Bad. I mean, look, we're going to get into that very soon, but I do want to go over this article that does confirm what we have learned here today. Plumber on social media dating show claims all this clout chasing got me fired. A plumber has lost his job after appearing on a YouTube dating show where he faced backlash after degrading a lineup of women. Which, okay, I don't think he degraded an entire lineup of women. I mean, he didn't degrade all of them. It was just a couple of them. And maybe a couple was just a couple too many. But still, I mean, the fact that this man loses his job? Really? That's just a little bit too much. I mean, you can make all the jokes you want about this man, about him being a Ninja Turtle, being an ogre, or some type of, soldier fighter in some RPG video game. It doesn't matter. You can say whatever you want. You say he's got skinny legs and an insecure, mindset, or that he's a little titty baby. You can say all of those things, but none of that should mean this man should lose his livelihood. I really disagree with that. And the fact that he was actually employed by somebody does throw me off, because this man was talking about he had 100 racks in the bank, and I'm sitting here thinking, boy, if you got all this money in the bank account, you don't work for somebody with this much money. You work for yourself. That's why I kept calling Cap on the last episode. The professional plumber named Very Handsome on Instagram. Very handsome. Okay, you know what? The whole thing about this guy is his ego being out of control. I got a feeling this might be part of the issue. I mean, I don't, any dude whose name is Very Handsome or Too Hot, it's just like a chick having a name Too Hot for You or Bad Chick 101. All of it reeks of insecurities, or something's wrong with them, or they have some inflated sense of ego, complete set of narcissism that is just out of this world. Well, either way, on Instagram took to the platform on Monday, June 17th, to reveal his unemployment due to the internet dating show he appeared in last week. According to the Instagram user, the criticism he received due to the show appearance caused the company he worked for to receive bad reviews, prompting his termination. Now, very handsome, I guess, he's got a decent number of followers over here, which I still can't get over this man's name, but all this cloud chasing got me fired from work. Man, I really love plumbing and I'm good at it. They got that taken from me. Y'all are sick. They called my company 500 times and are messing up business, which, golly, just go burn somewhere if you're going to really spend your time doing this. You got to be one sad and miserable person. You got to be really close to tying that noose if you're really thinking about doing this kind of stuff for somebody. Just why would you do this? Now, personally, I didn't really care for this comment that he had down in his own comments, and that was, "This is what I get for dealing with low-value women. I'm hurt beyond this for real. This is what kept me out of the streets." And he's heartbroken. I get that. This is all sad. Crying emojis. All these emojis with the broken hearts and the crying faces. It lets me know that this man is very expressive. I feel like this guy, he really was crying and boo-hooing something fearsome. He was probably crying, big time, like Viola Davis style crying. It was big, mad crocodile tears. This is just sad, though. It really is. I hate this for him, though. Some of these emojis make me kind of want to laugh a little bit, but still, it is emotional to think about this man losing his job, because this is probably something he was really good at, and when you're really good at something, you can make a lot of money out of it, and people get you terminated from your job just because they were upset at the fact that you spoke your opinion on a podcast or some type of show and they just didn't like it. You hurt nobody. He didn't hurt anybody. And he walked out a champion for this moment. And I guarantee you that chick he walked out with is no longer with him because he no longer has a job. And that is a sad damn thing. And my thing is, all that 100 racks, he should be good. I would think. But also, I want to say, the low value women, the people on this show, those women didn't get him fired. Nobody said it was the women from the show who called his job to get him terminated. It was just people who were upset about what he said in the show, which was more than likely some angry, sad, self-deleting wannabes in the comments. That's who it was. Some people who were on the verge of already ending it, were already mad and hating their lives, decided they were going to go out there and ruin somebody else's Joker style. And that's more than likely who we should be upset with, not the chicks on the show, which is the part, that's why I was so scathing in some of my critiques of him on the show in general. Is because I feel like he was taking his emotion out on the wrong people here. I feel like he's got some insecurities somewhere else, and he was just lashing out at these women. Like, the women ain't the problem. They're not the issue here. According to the Axe plumber, that is pretty funny that they put that in there. After appearing on YouTube dating show, critics called the company 500 times and are messing up business. Now that's just dirty. If you are one of these people, once again, I swear you need to go ahead and lay yourself down on the train tracks and wait for what's coming. Because, there's another thing to be petty, and there's another thing to be upset, and you want to defend some people out there on the internet, but there's another thing to go get somebody fired from work. I don't care how much of a tool this guy was. It wasn't like he was beating women on set. It wasn't like he was really cussing them out at them. Well, you know what? They did block that out, so maybe he did get that point. But either way, even if he did, nothing is worth him losing his job over this. That's just sad. In his comment section, the plumber received messages of support from many who felt the termination was unwarranted. Some further criticized his behavior on the dating show, but agreed it wasn't enough to cause him to lose his job. I agree. I don't believe anything he did on that show should have caused him to lose his job. And apparently he would have never lost his job if a whole bunch of people didn't go in there and give his boss a whole bunch of headaches, especially over something that really was so trivial. It's just a dating show at the end of the day. And I made jokes about hopefully that woman survives this whole ordeal and she doesn't get beat sideways, or he doesn't just tear her in two, or he doesn't become some crazy control freak behind the set, which he might be terrible in relationships, or he could actually be a good guy. We really don't know. I was just saying in the comment section and stuff in my last video, people usually who have these behaviors are usually some people who can't be trusted in relationships, but it doesn't mean he can't be trusted at his work. And it seems like this was something that he had actually enjoyed doing, and he was probably good at it, which is really a shame. It really is a shame. Another quote says, "I hate how he acted on the show, definitely not cool, but to call his job and get him fired is some BS. This is livelihood. I think you don't mess with how somebody eats. I'm just saying," one person wrote. I agree. That's crossing the line. Another quote says, the fact that they did this much digging to find your job is dangerous, which, it is dangerous. Like that, first of all, that is stalkerish. You talking about him being a stalker. I was thinking he might have some stalkerish behavior, but the people who went after him are even worse than that. It's the downside of standing on what you stand on in this cancel culture era, which, cancel culture, you can't really cancel too many people nowadays, but, it's not like he can't work again. I mean, he can still go work. It's just not for there anymore. You did nothing wrong, and I pray you can start your own business. Someone else added. I agree. I mean, I hope that he can start his own business, which I thought that he had from the get-go, which I'm going to get into very shortly, because The article continues. A second clip went viral, showing one woman returning the shade to the plumber in an exchange that quickly escalated. Many agree with the woman's assessment of the situation and blasted the plumber for his attitude toward the lineup of women. Which, yes, even I did the same thing. But it's still termination. Too much. One quote about that interaction was, he deserved every bit of that. His attitude was insane. Them other girls were letting him get away with too much disrespect, one person wrote. Which, okay, sure, they were letting him get away with this. I just don't believe two wrongs make a right. I really do believe that. Just because one person fights with fire doesn't mean you fight with more fire. It just leads to a bigger fire, and nothing gets put out that way. Eventually, you're not going to have enough fire extinguishers to actually put out the flames. Eventually, you're just going to have to get people to shut them all up or just cancel everything altogether, and then you just ruin the product. So, yes, I just don't believe beef on beef is really good sometimes. Sometimes there's just too much meat on the sandwich. A little bit less is more sometimes, and that's what I believe in this situation as well. Now, the final quote from the article says, this man shows you how to respectfully disrespect someone. You're not even qualified, queen, added somebody else. And yes, I kept saying it during my last critique that yes, every time he kept saying, yes, queen, thank you, queen, it's all right, queen, it all just reeked of a lot of douchery, and none of it felt very sincere or genuine. It just all felt very assholey, like he was very pissy about the whole situation. He never said queen in a very nice way or a very genuine way where it felt like, yeah, I actually came from a good place out of my wholesome heart here. It didn't. Now, there are some people out there that are still thinking, well, this man was being highly respectful on the last platform. He was not being respectful when he says, yes, queen, thank you, queen, whatever, queen. I don't know if any of y'all ever noticed, but I'm sorry, but anytime I hear a guy that says, yes, queen, thank you, queen, unless they're being truly kind about it in the way that their voice is projected, usually I pretty much think it's code for just saying, thanks, bitch, because that's really what it comes off to me, because who calls another woman queen without being condescending? Like, I don't know of any woman who really calls a man king. I've never seen anybody call a person queen or king in person and they actually meant it with true generosity. I have never seen it. That's all cap. I'm sorry, that's lies, that's buffoonery, that's tomfoolery. I don't believe in any of that. You say thank you very much or something that's also along the lines of that, but you don't say thanks queen, thanks king. Who's saying that? Just somebody who's being an asshole. That's really the only person who says that kind of stuff. Nobody addresses anybody like that. Now, the final part of the article says the plumber has since launched a GoFundMe and a t-shirt line with his new signature line, "You Not Qualified." From the looks of it, he plans to ride his newfound internet fame until he finds a new job, which, wow. The GoFundMe. Homie, I thought you were rich. I thought you were rolling in dough. I thought you were shooting out money like those little gun machines at the ball games or at the strip club or at those, rave clubs where they're just shooting out money out the machine, the little dollar bills all over the place, or you're in one of those baskets that they're shooting money everywhere. That's how much money you made it seem like you had. You said you can pull $100,000 out at any point in time, baby. Well, what happened? If you already have that much money, where is it? I'm just saying, if you have that much money, is it not saved anywhere? I'm just saying, you already need a GoFundMe, dude. You just lost your job, and you're already talking about selling merch and going out here and giving me some money so I can survive for the next couple months, dude. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. Somebody left a comment talking about nobody prepares for unemployment. You're right, nobody does, but nobody also has just $100,000 sitting around here just in case they are unemployed. If you have that much money sitting around and you're unemployed, guess what? I think you're gonna make it the next couple months. I don't think you need to stress. I just think you need to calm down, gather your thoughts, get your bearings, and go apply somewhere else. Because quite frankly, I don't know how you got this much money working for the man in the first place. So that chick that was out there talking about that you have a roommate and you reek of having a roommate energy, guess what? You must have if you got all this money sitting around. Either that or you live in the pits of hell. Where are you living? You must be homeless. Either that or you must be living in one of those Amazon homes that are bought up off of Amazon. And just in case you don't know, you can literally buy a house off of Amazon. And I will be making a video about that at some point in time, about saving in fixing the world's housing crisis here in America. And it's going to be based on those Amazon homes. I got a whole different type of plan, something that is really I just feel like the plan is ingenious. I couldn't figure out a good word to say there. But either way, I hope you enjoy that future video that I'll be making in the future as well. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel, you guys. We gotta keep getting those numbers up. Thanks to all the new subscribers to the channel. Hope you've liked some of the last bit of content that I've been putting on this channel. Also, sorry for my eye being so bloody red. That's why I got my glasses back on today. It's almost like somebody decided they're gonna give me pink eye or some shit, some weird stuff, like I was going ass to mouth, and I don't do that. So, yeah. Just like that, he's now got a signature line. Go buy your merch today. Boy, people don't hesitate to go ahead and start making some merch. Don't worry. Eventually, I'm going to start getting some Random University, merch out there at some point in time. Hopefully, somebody will want to buy it. And yes, I will ship it to you. And it's not going to be like Triple B, Big Baller Brand, where you're not going to get your material. You will get your stuff from Random University. Don't worry. That is a guarantee. But that is when I actually decide I'm going to actually get some merch. But the fact that this man's already selling merch and got a GoFundMe, damn, dog, you just lost your job. What happened to all that money you had saved up? If you're going to pull all that money up out of your bank account, why do you need this GoFundMe? And at least right now, like, I guess, you're trying to get ahead of the curve, but I don't get it. You need money right now? I thought you had money. Told you this man was capping. But really, I don't have a whole lot on today's topic. Today's topic really depresses me, makes me upset to have to address this, because I want the best for black men. I want the best for men in general. It doesn't matter what case or whatever color you are, or whatever race, religion, gender, whatever you go by. I want the best for people. I don't want to sit around and watch the world burn like half the people on the internet. I want to see people happy. I want to see flowers bloom. I want to see grass grow. I want to see babies born. I want to see the world continue to blossom. I don't want to see it in smolders. I don't want to see Cyberpunk 2027 type of world. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that kind of world. I want to see a happier place, a good place. Because quite frankly, that's what makes the world go round, I believe. And I want to see good things take place for people. I don't want to see people losing their jobs, because it's already tough enough out there as is. The economy is not the greatest in some places for many people. Now, if you got money like Homeboy says he has, then you should be in good shape. But that's why I was questioning it in the last video. Go figure, this man loses his job. Next thing you know, he's out here begging on the streets with cups looking for change. And you know what? That's not a good look for anybody. I don't want anybody to ever have to put a blanket up over themselves and live underneath the bridge, because I've seen too many of them folks, and trust me, I'm just like the rest of you. That is a sad state of affairs. I mean, you try not to make eye contact because you just feel like all of a sudden you looked at one of those puppies that's online that's been beaten or savaged or lost out in the wilderness with no food for the last 2 weeks, and it makes you feel awful. And I don't want to go down that rabbit. But either way, I'm rambling. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you like today's video. I wanted to make it quick and get it a lot faster than the last one. I've been seeing comments. All right, have a good day. Peace.